I know we dismantled y'all boys and sent y'all to the abyss, but leave us alone. Keep us
Whatever.
out your mouth, bro. You'll be just fine.
Welcome back, people. Welcome back to another episode, Trash Talking with the Old Heads. I'm your host, Dante, along with my old head debate partners, Greg, Jerry. What's happening, fellas?
What's going on, bro?
Gene, welcome back, my boy. Back to the States.
Welcome back.
I'm back, baby.
Back.
That boy been
I'm
traveling
back.
the world for a while.
I'm back like Jordan wearing the 4-5.
I hear you.
Hey, well, good
Look
to
like
have
you got
you
a
back, my
fan,
boy.
too.
Hey,
So
we got
what
a lot to get into today, my boy. So we got to get rolling because there's a lot to cover today, man. And y'all know where we starting. It's Friday, so we starting with college football. First playoff bracket, first 12-team bracket came out. Nothing too, like I said, I think everybody, the team that were in there, I think everybody kind of, well, I don't want to assume nothing, you know what I'm saying? I'll start with you, Jerry. You got any problems with it? Did the committee get it right?
Other than having Bama in there, I probably would have rather seen Vanderbilt anchor down in there. But other than Bama, I'm all right with
it. Vanderbilt.
He already. Hey, people, please take this podcast seriously. We're just getting off the ground, and sometimes we have some ridiculous takes. This is one of those moments.
seriously. Yeah, it's straight. They got all the big dogs in there. It's weird. It's kind of weird seeing, Oregon. Penn State is a throwback. Throwback to when they had good teams. BYU. It's just Indiana. Oh my God. So it's just kind of weird seeing some of these teams you're not used to having a chance at this point in the season. So other than that, yeah, I can't be too mad at it. Maybe I like to see Miami higher, but other than that, I think I'm fine with it.
Miami High, they the third seed. I don't know, G. What about you, bro? You got any problems with it?
I have no problems with it. I think they have the teams perfectly ranked where they should be. Ohio State getting a little bit of a bump. I think Georgia should be in that 2 spot, but I think, the Bama loss plus Bama losing to Vandy and Tennessee probably got them a little lower than where they should be. But when you look at the overall strength of schedule, Georgia's strength of schedule is much tougher than Ohio State's. So that's really the only problem I had with. I had Boise State at the beginning. If y'all remember, I had Boise State in the top 12, making the playoffs at the beginning of the season. So
yeah, you and I both did. Yeah.
BYU and Indiana, of course, are the surprises of the league. I suspect Penn State to take one more, get one more L on their schedule. They
you already know it's coming, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's on. You know what I'm saying? It's on for the rest of the season because the teams that are 7 through 12, that it could flip. It could flip like a flip. The script can flip.
Right.
You got to watch out. This is what makes college football. This is what's going to make college football and add a new element to college football, as we see with the parity. Like we said early in the season or midway through the season, Dante.
Right.
The time of dominant programs, mauling teams each and every week, that's over with.
Right.
That's about done with.
Yeah, because when you look down this list, bro, what team would you say is a great team? I'm looking at the whole 12. None of them. Not all of them can be beaten. You know what I'm saying?
You got to give Oregon some credit for staying this long.
And I do. I give Oregon a lot of credit, but when I look at that Oregon team, I don't think unbeatable.
Right. I mean, because they could have lost to Ohio State
Right.
just as easily as they won. You know what I'm saying? And again, when we look at the Big Ten, you know what I'm saying, their power structure is the Big Two. You got Penn State, who we all know are frauds. We all know they're frauds. They're perennial frauds. Every year they start out 6-7-0, and soon as they face a little bit of adversity, they fold like with a cheap suit. Indiana, I'm not sold on them. You know what I'm saying? They undefeated.
Me either.
BYU, I mean, you know, they're playing good ball, but you know, again, when they get ready to play the big boys, you know, I doubt that the money gonna be with BYU or Indiana. So
yeah,
we'll see.
You look at Indiana's schedule, man, who they played, man. Yeah, I'm not there either on them. You know what I'm saying? Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, and Michigan State. So, I mean, really, it's a schedule. I think their whole claim is going to come down to that Ohio State game, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Now, it does, for me, I was shocked that they were that high. I thought they'd be lower, but I think the committee.
You talking about Indiana?
Yeah, Indiana. But I think as far as Miami, they don't play no defense whatsoever. So that's concerning to me about them. They belong, don't get me wrong, they belong in the 12, of course, but like I said, none of these teams are great to me, but I think the committee and college football, the powers that be, are getting what they want. You're getting 4 SEC teams. What is that? How many Big Ten is that? 1, 2, what is that? 3, 4, because Indiana's in there. You're getting Notre Dame. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you're getting some storylines from the other smaller schools. You know what I'm saying? You got your BYU, got your State.
The TV money is secure.
It's secure. You're getting exactly what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it may flip around a little bit because Alabama has to play LSU, which we'll get into in a second. So it could flip a little bit, but you'll probably be, if let's say Alabama were to lose another game, you're probably just going to flip another SEC team in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's exactly it's exactly what the powers that be want. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Big Ten schools, a lot of SEC schools. Make sure you make a way for Notre Dame to be in it most years, which they probably will. So they're getting exactly what, like you said, Jared, the TV money is secure with the way this formula, the way it's going to be. You know what I'm saying?
So I got two questions.
I noticed the two fans that don't have a dog in the fight referring to TV money. That's kind of peculiar and interesting to me. Did this agreement, this marriage happen while I was away? Because
why he acting brand new?
That dude, I talked about TV money last year when FSU didn't get in. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, again, another person without a dog in the fight hollering about TV money. We all know that Florida State did not deserve to be in the conference in the playoffs last year.
The only reason Florida State didn't get in is because they knew the ratings would be lower.
They didn't get in because their quarterback got hurt.
What the hell they got to do with anything?
It got to do with a lot.
No, it got to do with TV because they didn't have their star player. It has to do with television is what it had to do with.
And Mike Norvell has shown you by the thumping that he took from Georgia and this year that they didn't belong. But I digress.
Yeah, as you know, we just talked about that. One season has nothing to do with us.
Hey, wasn't it our second or third show when you made this declaration that Florida State will be in the playoffs?
Fuck that declaration. I do not recall.
I think Greg been in the sun too long.
Yeah,
if he's trying to say that, if he's
trying to Honduras sun too long, bro.
If money don't play a part in what's going on,
we have it on wax.
So that's just an honest statement.
Yeah, so it's disingenuous, right? Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then also, I know for a fact he's been in the sun too long. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't even come in right, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
No, he did not.
Like a champion.
No, he did not.
You can be a champion. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But the question
number one, my audio was messing up over here, so that's the reason why I wasn't able to get my saying out. But I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead and let me go ahead and do it the right way. No excuses. Play like a champion always. I don't want to hear anything about no damn TV money. Carry on.
So the question I came up with just then, I just thought about when you were talking, Dante, was you said, let's just say if Alabama were to fall out or whatever, so or take another L. So if we're really looking at it, Alabama does have a chance to take another L. That's real because of their secondary being so ass all season long. But also Tennessee, Tennessee could stumble and take a L. So if an SEC team does stumble and get another L, or if both of them get another L,
Right.
what's the SEC team y'all think will move up?
Ooh. Probably LSU, because I think LSU, Ole Miss, because Ole Miss, if again, it depends on who wins. If Ole Miss beats Georgia this week, which we'll get into in a second, you know what I'm saying? That puts them in a nice spot if some people lose. You know what I'm saying? If LSU beats Bama, that puts them in a good spot. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the outcomes of some of these games. And that's the good part about it. Like some of these games, yes, has some of the luster come off some of them for me. Yeah, because it meant more in the past. But I think in the end, we'll still have some big games towards the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about that, like Greg said, that 8 through 12, 7 through 12 kind of deal, it's still going to be some big games down the stretch, I think.
Yeah, I mean it definitely. I mean, yeah, gone are the days where it's one game and
Right.
one game and you out.
One game in October, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know
Right.
what I'm saying. So, but it's still what I'm saying, that element of the importance of each game is big. Just think about it. So, what I'm saying, when we looked at the game and when the game went down, or before the game went down, no one thought the Vandy Bama game was gonna have a lot of weight. But had Bama won that game, this LSU game wouldn't mean much. So it's kind of like the NFL. We think about these games. Okay, they have opportunity to rebound off bad losses.
Right.
However, again, it depends. It could either it could hurt you where it puts you at a lower seed, or it could end up costing you by way of what I'm saying, you being bounced out by a group of 5 team that has to get in, and you sitting at 12.
Right. Because I was looking at, because I thought about Bama, and this is no hate on Bama. Like I said, I'm not a Bama hater. I'm a Bama fan hater. So I was looking, because I really wanted to say, okay, Bama, why the hell are they in the 12? But when I looked at the teams below them in the rankings, I'm like, I really can't make an argument for any of them being better than Bama.
Because what you're looking at, though, Dante, is the fact that they lost to Vandy. And
Yeah,
Vandy,
right,
Vandy has
right,
beat a lot of teams.
right,
And
right.
they almost beat Texas. So again, it's that name, Vandy, that has the stench on Alabama's
And not
resume.
just that, but I looked below and I was like, I couldn't find a team where I could say they're any better. You know what I'm saying? Ole Miss, SMU, you know what I'm saying? Texas A&M, Iowa State. I'm like, if I tried, I could probably make an argument for one or two of them, but I'm like, I really couldn't get up in arms about any of those teams not being in the 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
got to get used to wanting to see good football. We got to get used to that because we're accustomed to the so-called best teams being put in. Again, with the TV money and then your conference with SEC being the top conference all the time. So we got to get used to, I guess, wanting decent matchups, especially with this many teams that you
Yeah.
putting in.
I
My
think we all kind of agree though. They pretty much got it right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not up in arms about this first one. You know what I'm saying? Plus, there's a lot of
Can't
football
be.
left.
my
You
my
can't be.
other my other question off the grid is there a path for Colorado to get in?
Man, I was thinking about that too, bro. I'm like, they pretty much, when you look at it, I think that to get in, they got to win out. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much have to win out.
They got to
They,
win out, and they got to have a whole bunch of teams
Yeah.
lose.
BYU got to fall off a little bit.
They schedule just
Iowa
fucked
State has to
completely.
fall off a little bit.
Colorado,
they got a lot that has to happen for them to get in.
Yeah, they schedule it's just way too putrid. They ain't nobody on their schedule that could help them.
Yeah, because the problem is some
real.
of the teams that they were counting on to be good were ass this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that really hurt their strength of schedule. When you look at, people thought Arizona might be good, they suck. You know what I'm saying? Utah's not as good this year. So
if they do run the table, would y'all like to see them in there in the 12?
It just depends on who the other 12 teams are in front of them, because again, they have.
Well, we know Tennessee and Bama got a real good chance of getting another L, especially Tennessee, the way they've been playing as of late.
Tennessee only has one loss. That would only make them 2 losses, and that would be against Georgia. So they only have really one bad loss.
to me, their way to get in, they have to win the conference, which means they need BYU to lose. They're 4-1 in the conference, and so is Iowa State. Iowa State's 4-1. BYU is 5-0. They need BYU to lose. Because they don't get to play either one of them in the
regular. And then that might not even
in the championship. Exactly. So they have to have BYU lose. And Iowa State, they really could use another Iowa State loss too. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it starts with them running the table, which I think they could do, quite frankly. Looking at the rest of their schedule, they could run the table at this point, because all they got left is, like I said, a Utah team that's not as good this year. Texas Tech, that's going to be a tricky one at Texas Tech. That could be a tricky game that they could lose. Utah, and then they got, I forget who the last game was. I want to say Oklahoma State maybe, and I think they got Kansas. So they can beat all of those teams. If they do their part, I think they got a shot. Because I think BYU, I'm not sold on BYU. I think they're beatable. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I think they're beatable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all know their schedule at this point. But
I'm pulling it up.
Oh, I got it. Utah, they play Utah, Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston. So again, they might be undefeated. You know what I'm saying? In the conference. So, or overall too. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be tough for them. They need some help. They, like Greg said, they need help to get in. Just running the table alone won't be enough to get them in the 12 without a lot of people losing. I mean, a lot of people would have to lose. For them not to win that conference and get in, a lot has to happen for that to happen. But let's move on, bro, because we got a lot to cover. Let's get on to these matchups, man. Bama, LSU. Now, when I looked at the game, I was like, looking at LSU's run defense against Texas A&M, bro. Greg, any chance that y'all stumble? I don't see it for real. Just based on that LSU run defense, I don't see it.
Chance. There's a chance that we can stumble. I mean, we know that the Tide is one of their most flawed teams that they've had in years. The biggest thing gonna be the 2 P's: play calling and penalties. Play calling and penalties. That's what cost us against Tennessee. And we're playing again another road game. We really only played well on the road one time this year, and that was against a sorry Wisconsin team. So it's definitely an opportunity for LSU to pull the upset, if you could call it an upset, or pull the victory. They won the last time in Baton Rouge. But if the play calling, if Kalen DeBoer leans on his running backs, and if Jalen Milroe doing those is able to, I don't know how you're a running quarterback and not really adept at running the zone read, where you keep it when you need to keep it and hand it to the running backs when the outside contain man stays outside.
RPO.
Yeah, I mean, but most of it is not a passing option. Most of it is run option. You know what I'm saying? And that this ride and decide. And he falters at that a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've seen plenty of plays where he keeps it when the running back should have given it to the running back, whether it's a 3-yard or 4-yard gain or a 1-yard gain, but you settle for you'll take the ball, and then get a 1 or 2-yard loss. I've seen that happen too many times. So it's going to depend on play calling again. We got to run with our running
Happy
backs.
feet. Happy
We
feet.
got to run with our running backs.
Yeah, because Bama's won 11 of the last 13 versus LSU. So, Jerry, how you see it? They got a shot?
Well, yeah, I mean,
LSU, that is.
it's they have a shot, like you said, if you look back at their last game and how they weren't able to stop a team that only threw the ball twice
Right.
down the stretch. But is the Boo Boo going to be patient with the run game? He's tried to clean that up, but they weren't really playing against strong teams, but they did stick to the run. Is he going to be patient and stick to the run in order to handle LSU's? I guess right now it looks like their biggest weakness, the way they did, the way they let the running game affect them in the last game. So can they be patient in the offense and they stick to it? If they come out and LSU is, kind of handling the situation and making it and keeping them honest as far as passing and throwing, does Bama start trying to throw it around and they get up into the 25, 30, passing attempts, then, if they do that, then maybe they can neutralize Alabama's run game. But as far as just matchup for matchup, when we're talking about that defense and then Bama's running ability, I would have to leave the nod in the hands of Alabama and as far as having an advantage.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to, like I said, Bama on third down. Right now, they're about 40% on third down, which is like 66 nationally. So, I mean, I just think if he sticks, like I'm with you, if he pounds the rock at them, I think they beat LSU. And I'm not going to say convincingly, but I don't think it should be that close. I think it should be a 10-point game if they run the ball. You know what I'm saying? But that's a big if with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's, like Greg said, or I don't know if you said, the coaching part of it, man. Is he willing to do that?
Yeah.
Just do what you got to do to win the game, like Texas A&M did. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna run the ball. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop it. We gonna run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Which I think Bama's rushing for like 178 yards a game. I think they have enough of offensive line to run at LSU. Now LSU's O-line is not giving up many sacks. So can Bama create any pressure against LSU? That's a question mark too. You know what I'm saying? So it really comes down to me which offensive line can kind of control the game. You know what I'm saying? And the coaching part of it. Will your boy at Bama, DeBoer, keep running the ball? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what kind of coach he is. Like I said, seems to me he wants to be a Pac-12 coach in the SEC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's showing. It's rearing his head. It's rearing his head a lot. You know what I'm saying? In situations where, I just one off the top of the head, that Tennessee, I said it before they threw it. I said, okay, we 4 yards from the end zone. Go ahead and run this thing down their throat. Sure enough, a pick. They got the ball out to the 35, 40-yard line. It was ridiculous. That touchdown cost us. And again, just the penalties. It's gonna, like you said, the offensive line has a majority of those penalties. False starts, holding calls, you know what I'm saying, illegal shifts that sets us back. We're not a team that can overcome 1st and 15, 1st and 20.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah, that,
So,
I mean,
take your pick.
I hope
Who you
I
got?
got Bama winning. I got Bama winning a close one, but I ain't too confident in it.
When you say close, 3-point game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere
Greg,
around that
Jared, who
ballpark.
you got? And by how many?
I'm gonna go LSU with the upset.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna go with a field goal. I'm gonna go with the field goal. I mean, a field goal. I'm gonna go with 3-point, a 3-point upset late in the game to win it.
You know my thought. Even though DeBoer, I don't trust him. You know my thoughts on Brian Kelly already, Jerry. We've been discussing him, Jerry, the last few weeks. You already know my thoughts on him.
I can't even think of what his game plan gonna be in
Yeah,
this game. I
yeah.
was trying to
Another
think
game for me where
night.
he won't get it done, bro. He will not get it done. I'm going Bama probably, like I said. I think it should be by about 10, but I don't think, like I said, I don't trust DeBoer either. So I'm kind of 27, 24-ish in my mind. Bama come out with the win. You know what I'm saying?
The only reason I'm going with the upset is can they get their passing offense going against Bama secondary is just that bad. I know they've been trying to clean up and working on things since the Tennessee game, but their secondary is that bad. So, maybe Nussmeier can live up to all the hype he's received since he's been the quarterback at LSU and make some throws and get ahead. If they get ahead, I think they got a good shot.
We got to move, but I did just think of one last question. Bama lose, are they done for the playoffs?
Yeah, this the winner go home. I mean, loser go home. This
All
is
right. I'm just checking. You know what I'm saying? I was just wondering in my mind, would the committee still have them close enough where they could get back in? You know what I'm
loser
saying?
goes home. They don't have anybody left on the schedule to impress.
Right.
That's same for LSU. LSU lose, they
Yeah.
out.
All right. I just wanted to check. So let's move on to the other big game this week. Ole Miss, Georgia. Well, Georgia at Ole Miss. And I'm gonna just be frank. I don't know what to make of Ole Miss, bro. Jerry. I don't know what
I've been saying that. I've been saying
I
that
don't
all
know
year.
what to make of them, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've watched them a couple times, and I'm gonna be honest. Once they looked great, and once I was like, oh, it's the same old Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? They don't play no D when they need to. Can't get a stop when they need to. Will they show up this week versus Georgia?
I don't see it. Georgia is really, really playing for something. Although I thought they would run it up in their last game, and they didn't. But the thing I've been saying about Ole Miss is just sometimes they look like a Kiffin-led team, and then the next game you see him, you like, what is Kiffin doing? What is his play calling? You know what I'm saying? He always like to throw it around the yard, and the yards are there, and you see it or whatever. But his game calling has thrown me off all season long, and I hadn't been. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just trying to maybe he's overthinking and trying to outthink, the game or the other coach on the other side. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just looked different. It's looked odd. Some of the games you see, you're like, okay, this Kiffin, they throwing it, but I just haven't been there. I've been saying that all year. I just been saying it all year. Just something is just kind of off. But with Georgia having something to play for and looking like the best team in the SEC, I think the rest of the year is just pride and trying to have that be their mainstay as Alabama takes a couple of steps back with Saban out of there. And I think Smart gets it done, and I think they pull it out.
All right. You agree, G?
This one, I think Ole Miss has a very strong game that they have not had since Lane Kiffin's been here. I think this is the game that they circled on their calendar all year. And usually when that happens, Lane Kiffin folds like a cheap suit. I think the Georgia isn't the, what I'm saying, everybody got, Georgia has that same, what I'm saying, that mystique a little bit where, it's a tough team and they really not. You know what I'm saying? Florida, the only reason they lost, the only reason Florida lost was because, I ain't gonna say the only reason, but it looked like Lagway injury, of course, and as it would be, the third string quarterback comes in and there's just no juice left on the squad. Had Lagway stayed healthy during that game, it was a strong possibility Florida could have beat them.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss playing at home, Georgia not as strong as they have been from a physicality standpoint. Carson Beck up and down. It's been all season. You know, they start out bad as hell. And against Ole Miss, I think Jackson Dart can, you know, if again, these are, you know what I'm saying, because it's just two programs that are headed in the right direction. Georgia's always been that way, but Ole Miss, they just got to take that next step. And I think it's been years where they are right there on the cusp of taking that next step. And I think this is the season that they get over the hump.
ESPN.
I'm going with you, G. I'm with you. I think Ole Miss gets it done, bro. I think people sleeping on the Ole Miss D. The D is pretty good. Their defense is pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Outside of the South Carolina game, they've been
Yeah. So it's like I think they get it done against Georgia too. I think they're going to get heat on Carson Beck. We see what he does when he gets any kind of pressure. I think they win this game. Do I think it's a blowout? No, it's going to be close. I think it's going to be high scoring. Maybe even with that defense, I think it will be high scoring. I'm going to go 32-28.
I said South Carolina. I meant Arkansas.
Yeah, 32-28.
That's a lot of points.
I think it's going to be. I think both teams will score. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those games where I think when you look at the two defenses, everybody says, well, the score will be low. I think it's going to be the exact opposite. I think the quarterbacks will get it done this week. But I think, like Greg said, at some point, Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin, you're supposed to win this game at home.
Yeah.
This is the Georgia team. Man. If you're going to beat Georgia, this is the year you're supposed to beat Georgia. If they can't win this one, then it's wraps for that program. You know, just don't tell me about Ole Miss anymore at this point. Your talent level this year is as good as Georgia's. Win the game.
I got a question. Like, Greg will do this thing where he'll look at Georgia and how they played against my boys, and he'll use that in his judgment, but he don't do that for Alabama. You know what I'm saying? I remember talking about how Kentucky early in the season, the way Kentucky played Georgia tough early in the season. I remember him telling me that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Early in the season. I'm just confused as to how Greg formulates these things.
What in the hell is he talking about?
You just said you just talked about how Georgia looked against Florida and how they looked beatable and they could have lost that game. Florida should have won that game. And you putting that in your argument as far as how they could possibly lose this game. Early in the season when I did that with Georgia and Kentucky, because Kentucky played them close earlier in the season.
Oh, you use that. Jerry, stop. Stop.
I just want to know.
You made that argument because Bama had leapfrog and got from went up 3 spots. That's why you used that.
It was fitting. As a fitting argument.
It was not. We know that there are teams that are great teams that have a slip up where they seemingly look beatable, but they end up winning. And at that point in the season, Georgia was coming off a throttling of Clemson, and I think another team they had played. So it was like the 3rd game in the season. Okay, so now we have more evidence that Georgia isn't that team that they had been the previous 2 years. One by getting thrashed in the first half against Bama, and then giving up the game-winning touchdown against Bama. Then, not only that, they come and they play. Who was it that they played after Bama? That they struggled in that game. They beat Texas.
Was it Tennessee?
They hadn't played Tennessee yet.
Oh yeah. Oh, you said it was Texas. Was it Texas?
They came back and they beat Texas. They looked great against Texas, but then the next game against not Tennessee, but against Florida, they won. But
State game.
Yeah, the Mississippi State game. They didn't look good against Mississippi State, who is trash. They worse than Vandy this year. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever hate you got against Bama, you need to let it out because I've been very
Yeah,
consistent.
it didn't really have nothing to do with Bama. It was just
Yeah, it did
your
because I
no, no,
just
no, no,
told you, I
no.
just showed you
I just
where
didn't
you
understand the way you
made that argument
analyze.
not in defense of Georgia, but in as a you were disgusted with Bama leaping by beating Georgia and leaping to number one. That's the
Right.
reason
That
why you
right.
pulled that game out your ass.
Right. That was then, but I'm talking about now. I just wanted to get a better understanding. I was trying to get a better understanding, which is
I
not
hope
gonna
I
happen.
made myself clear. Georgia, on top of the Florida game, on top of losing to Bama, on top of a couple other games this season, have looked beatable.
We're gonna find out about them the next 2 weeks. They got Ole Miss and then Tennessee. So we're about to find out. That's gonna make or break Georgia's season these next couple of weeks. We're gonna find out what kind of team they are for real. I think they could possibly lose both games. And
they ain't losing to Tennessee.
They could lose them both, G.
They ain't not losing to Tennessee.
Only reason I give them the edge is because the Tennessee game is at home.
ESPN chose
just watching Nico play, man.
Yeah. He been a little ass lately, dog.
He ass, man. He's ass. He got a good arm, but he's not accurate.
ESPN, I ain't even gonna comment on my boy, but ESPN
has, man. He missed a lot of
he pretty ass. When he not playing Western Michigan, he pretty ass.
ESPN has Ole Miss by 54% over Georgia's 46%.
I can see
Tennessee
in this game.
I wouldn't be shocked if Ole Miss win this game. I won't be shocked.
If Tennessee had lost to Bama, they would probably be below LSU and Texas A&M right about now.
Hey, we shall see. Big weekend, but a big game last night. Switching gears to the NFL. That second half track meet we watched last night. G,
great game.
I was about to ask that question. Was it a great game?
Yes, it was. Very good game. Very competitive.
So now, Ravens win it all, man, with that defense, bro.
Here's what I believe. They cannot give up 400 yards passing. Okay.
They come down close a lot.
Do they have the ability to improve their defense? Yes. They have the ability to improve their defense. They have to stop running quarters every goddamn play. You know what I'm saying? They definitely got to get away from that zone that they run a whole bunch.
They do
that's number one. Yeah, they don't play it well. They play it initially. You can see a lot of those passes outside of the busted coverages. A lot of those passes that they were completing to extend drives in those zone defenses. If you go back and watch the game, Joe Burrow didn't have an open receiver initially. He had the ability to move in the pocket, and once he was able to move in the pocket, somebody was able to exploit the zone, come wide open. Usually it was Jamar Chase or Yoshivas, and he would hit him, make an accurate pass down the middle of the field. That's where they were really eating the Ravens up, and then they were hitting those home run balls. But the defense got to improve in order for them to win the championship. But that offense, Lamar Jackson is playing quarterback the way that the position for his skill level should be played. He's passing, he's running secondarily, and he's making teams pay when they don't pressure him. When they do get pressure on him, he's able to escape the pocket and make plays with his legs. I love what I'm seeing from Lamar Jackson. Yeah. And Big King Henry, when they do it the right way, line up in the I formation, play action pass, they are a very, very, very strong offense that nobody wants to see.
Are you as impressed as Greg seems to be, Jerry?
No, and here's why. So last week we did our MVP picks, and we both gave it up to LJ.
Right.
Mainly because of the numbers. are there because he's ahead of everybody that could possibly be in the argument. But Derrick Henry deserves a hell of a lot more credit toward what's going on with LJ than he's getting.
He getting his credit. He getting his credit.
I don't know.
And
I don't know because
he should probably be number two. The last 2 weeks, before the last 2 weeks, it was definitely Derrick Henry the MVP of the season. The last 2 weeks, Lamar Jackson is taking over, and y'all got to stop. You got to give him his props, man. He's playing 153 rating last week, perfect rating, 141 rating this week.
Right.
Come on, man.
He said he was the MVP. He said he was the MVP.
We picked him as MVP, so that's giving him LJ his credit. But this Derrick Henry thing has him throwing to wide open receivers. I'm just being honest. He's throwing to wide open receivers because of Derrick Henry. Now we've all said that they're not winning the Super Bowl if LJ is leading them in rushing. We've been saying that for years. 4 or 5 years straight? We've been saying that. And now that they have a running game that they trust and rely on, it's still to be seen whether or not they're going to do that in the playoffs and not try to get in the playoffs again and try to prove that man can throw. But because I do feel like they got another couple of games in them like that where they try to show that, or maybe a team forces them into, proving, because that's how you got to beat them. You got to make them prove that LJ can make the throws. That's still an Achilles heel of his. But we Derrick Henry makes this thing go. He makes their offense look unbeatable. Derrick Henry does.
I agree with you. I got to say this, though, and y'all, this is one thing that y'all have to factor into it as well. It's not just Derrick Henry's running ability. It's the combination of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson being able to run.
Get that.
That's a two-headed monster. That it's kind of like, if y'all remember when Mike Vick and Warwick Dunn, and they were running that zone read with them, that zone read running attack. You have to account for the quarterback running the ball, and you have to account for the running back, Derrick Henry, running the ball. So it's more than just Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a big piece of that. And you're right, that running attack does tend to get their wide receivers open, because you have to commit. You have to commit.
Thing is, I don't take anything away from that, because I can't ask for Brock Purdy to get his credit when his offense is predicated on the same thing and not get Lamar credit, because he has a running back now too. So for me, that's not an issue. That's why I said he's the MVP. I don't take anything away from that. You know what I'm saying? I think he is the MVP. But for me, I'm concerned about that team. That defense, that pass defense is awful.
It's terrible.
Some games when they play KC, Buffalo,
they can't beat Kansas.
People are going to slow that offense down. And their defense, I don't think
they were an inch away from.
Everybody keeps talking about the game in the first game of the season. That's fine.
I don't care.
First game of the season, one toe away. Okay, I got you.
Hey man,
KC defense has gotten better.
Y'all know what I think
Baltimore defense has gotten worse. I don't care how you look at it.
Yeah,
and you can still.
And the KC offense has gotten better.
And
But let me ask you this. Are the Ravens defense fixable?
I don't think so this year. No.
I don't think so.
No, not this year. No.
Okay, so it's not really their defense. It's their passing defense,
right?
Not the run defense.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So that lets me know that they have capable defenders. Kyle Hamilton, Humphries.
Who's hurt? He's hurt.
They said
he's hurt,
minor.
but
they said it's minor.
Yeah, he'll be back next week, or the week after. He's hurt, but again, they have good pieces, man. They have a good defense. They got good pieces. They're not a poorly constructed defense. So I believe that the Ravens defense can, not where they would go from dead last to one, But if they were able to get that defense, and if you looked at the game, they had
your argument is the offense is what it is because of what we see, but the defense isn't.
no.
I never
No,
understand that kind of argument. The offense is what it is because of what we see, but the defense isn't what it is because of what we see.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, sometimes things happen because of happenstance, who you play, time and things of that nature. I'm just saying that I believe, and I don't have proof in game totality and game statistics that they've played this year. I just believe by the pieces that they have and what I saw last night, and when I've watched them, they are a few plays away from, a game can turn at the drop of a dime. Just like last night, we saw
fumble.
The Bengals had complete control of the game. It looked like it was about to be a mauling, and that one play switched the momentum of the game. Well, things happen like that in the passing game too. A pass interference here that, you know what I'm saying, could have gone the other way, where they could have forced the Bengals to go for 3. That next drive, not the next drive, the drive after that, when the Bengals scored, made it 14-7. They had one play that they should have made and didn't make, and the Bengals were able to go down and score. Those, a play here, a play there. Like Al Pacino said in Any Given Sunday, the inches that we need are all around us. They're in every break, every bounce.
Pause. No kidding. Pause.
Oh. But man, let's quickly talk about the other team that was on the field. Is it over for the Bengals, man? Are they even still a viable playoff team?
Listen, done. It's not over. It's not over. Don't count them out.
They're done.
They 4-6. They're not done.
They're done.
I don't think they're done either, but the next 2 games, Chargers and Steelers, I think, are must wins.
They got to win out. They can't afford another L. They have to win out.
They're not that team. They can't do that. Their defense is too bad in order for them to win out. They don't have if they were losing these games and they had a strong defense, then I could give an argument for them to have the ability to win out. But with the defense as as it is, they don't have the ability to win out.
Last night, bro. I've never watched a game recently where I saw that many butt naked ass receivers. Like, damn, are the defenders even trying to play defense out here? I'm like, man,
it looked like
terrible, dog.
It looked like Madden out there. It looked like a Madden game.
Yeah, dude on the sideline, I forget his name. I'm like, what is that?
Were they running open when it was 21-7? And they had the ball and ready to put another 7 points on the board?
They were running open all night.
Yeah.
They wasn't. Well, how was it that the Ravens had 7 points in the third quarter with about 9 or 8 minutes left in the third quarter?
Because Lamar had played like ass up until that point.
Was Lamar playing like ass, or were they playing pretty good defense? Because they weren't. The Derrick Henry was not running all over the field. He wasn't getting, chunks of yards rushing the ball.
They just pretty much they finally figured out that it wasn't going to be a Derrick Henry game. They figured out it was not a Derrick Henry game.
Outside of them 7 points. So they have it's a break here, a break there, a play here, a play there, changes the momentum of the game. I'm not saying that their defense is good, nor do I believe that they have the ability to improve it. But all you need to do is make a play here, a play there. Joe Burrow is on fire right now. So, I mean,
Cincinnati, I don't see Cincinnati winning out. And the Ravens defense was bad enough to lose to the Ravens and the Browns with Jameis Winston, who hadn't played a down all season. So I don't see the Ravens being a real contender for the Super Bowl because they got to get through the Chiefs, and they just can't beat the Chiefs, especially in the playoffs. So I'm not even, I don't have them getting there again this year.
They have a very manageable schedule.
And this year you won't be able to. This is their scenario. They lose again in the playoffs, but this time you can't put it all on Lamar Jackson. You'll be able to put it on the defense, and that secondary being ass like they've been all year. That's what it'll be.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what happens with them because they have the Steelers coming up, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Giants, Steelers again, Texans, and the Browns again. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what this Raven team is all about. Because some of those teams I think can beat the Ravens because they have enough defense. I think to at least be, you know what I'm saying? They won't be like that second half Cincinnati defense last night. The Steelers are gonna put up a fight. We saw the Browns put up a fight. I think the Eagles will put up a fight. So we will find out.
I got the Steelers beating them both games.
That's what I'm saying. That's possible. So we
will
learn because Greg was just saying their schedule is manageable. We'll see. We'll see how manageable that schedule is in the next few weeks. We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, because really the only team that they got 3 games that, you know what I'm saying, the Steelers twice and the Chargers.
And the Eagles.
Which the Chargers. Huh?
And the
I'm
Eagles.
talking about the Bengals.
Oh, okay. You talking about the Bengals. Okay.
Don't have the Eagles. They already got beat by the Eagles.
I thought you were talking about the Ravens. Okay.
Oh, the Ravens, they in the playoffs. What are we talking about here? They in the playoffs. Right. Stop it.
All right.
I got a typo, man, on my rundown.
What's that?
In the D block, I got a typo.
Hey, man, I'm glad you led us to it, bro. We got to talk about the Eagles, bro. When we talking about big games, I got to talk about the Eagles.
No. Why? Hey, yo, what is this? We didn't even. This wasn't one of the games we talked about.
Got to talk about the Eagles, bro.
No, you want to talk about the Cowboys? That's what this is.
No, talk about the Eagles. We said we said Cowboys.
Not want to talk about the Cowboys.
We won't even say that name. We just gonna talk about.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
So the Eagles been playing great.
We got them on the rundown, and we didn't even talk about it.
I had to say I wasn't gonna even say the name. I was just gonna say the Eagles in their competition this week. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna even say the name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you the one. I'm talking about the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? So
you got it on the rundown.
And the Eagles
can Cooper Rush keep Dallas afloat? So how the hell you ain't gonna say their name?
And the Eagles keep it going, Jerry, this week versus their competition.
Hell yes. Who got it better than us? Nobody. Listen. Yeah, they gonna run amok on these boys. I mean, they gonna run amok. Saquon out here jumping backwards over people and getting yards. Incredible. They found the same thing the Ravens found, is to get that bitch to Saquon and let Saquon run behind the line. Right. That's what they're doing, and it's working. They got the receivers back, so that's allowing them to have a more balanced attack. Hurts has found his long ball. His short to intermediate is still questionable. I still see him throwing it directly to DBs that can't catch. In the last couple of games, I've seen that. But the formula of giving it to Saquon, who's a real bona fide superstar in this league, is working. I mean, you got the coach over his weird ass over there jumping up and down on plays. His play calling has been better. I still don't like all this going for it on fourth, man. I really don't. They had the tush push stopped a couple of times in the last game. I don't like that, but yeah, the team they're playing this week is just they don't have anything they need to win a game like this at this point in the season. They just don't. They don't have their starting QB. The defense was never good against the run in the first place.
Right.
They still got players out. Philly on the other end got players that have come in and they've already started contributing. So I'm looking at another blowout.
Greg, will the Eagles blow out that team that shall not be named?
I don't even know why y'all put this game on the roster, because we were talking about big teams, big games.
So obviously
the Eagles are a good team.
Cowboys,
very good team. They're one of the top teams in the NFC.
Obviously, the Cowboys reign supreme. Y'all can't get them out y'all mouth.
Reign supreme.
Why in the hell is that even a question?
One of the top teams in the NFC.
How in the hell is that even a question? Are the Eagles going to beat the Cowboys? Come on, man. We know the fucking answer to that. Y'all just want to get on here and do what you always do every day, every week.
Welcome back.
Talk about the Cowboys. In this
Welcome back,
game, we
bro.
didn't even talk about it in the rundown. So we talked about the mid.
Welcome back, bro.
We said that we were going to be talking about the mid bowl, which was the Buccaneers versus the Niners,
Welcome
not
back,
the
bro.
Eagles versus the Cowboys.
Welcome back, bro.
These questions up in his hell. These should have been on the Big D Energy report. Number one, are the Eagles the best team in the
report no
NFC?
longer exists,
What
bro.
the hell are you talking about? Are they the best team in the NFC? The
That
Lions
segment
are the
so
best
dead.
team in the
That
NFC.
segment
But
got
like I
buried.
told y'all about the Eagles, once they got healthy, they were gonna get back on track. And just like I said, they back on track. So I don't even know what the fuck the question was, man. What the question is?
Michael Irvin called into the show while you was out, man. He called into the show.
Michael Irvin ain't called shit.
And Michael Irvin called into the show and said that we had to get rid of that ragged ass segment from this point on because his favorite team was not going to be able to do anything for the rest of the season.
What the hell the question was?
Can Cooper Rush keep Dallas afloat, my boy?
Yeah, that was not the question. That was not the question that you originally asked. No, he can't. Next question.
Is Jerry delusional and still believing this is a playoff?
We already said Jerry on crack. He's senile. Next question.
Have you given up on your team already, sir? That's the last question.
I did this 3 weeks ago before I even went on the cruise. I wanted us to tank.
To say it right now.
We're not going anywhere. So we done. All right. So moving on. Next
question. Are you asking the team to tank at this point?
I just said that yes, I want the team to tank. It's over.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Moving on to the next game. Steelers Commanders. So looking pretty good. Jaden Daniels playing at an MVP caliber level so far. Jerry, this is an interesting matchup, bro. I've been going back and forth on this one for a couple of days. I'm not sure who you like, bro, and why.
I like Jaden, man. I'm impressed with this dude. I'm impressed with this young man from an athletic standpoint and his use of his athletic ability as an escape route, his escapability. I'm impressed with his ability to read defenses. I'm impressed with the throws that he can make. But this week, I think the Steelers are going to make him look like a rookie. I think they're going to make this man look like a rookie. That defense is for real. I think they take away everything that he's good at this week. That's just something Tomlin does. I think Tomlin takes a page out of Belichick's book and makes a rookie quarterback look like a rookie in every way possible on the field. So I'm going with the Steelers and their new found offense with Russell Wilson back there throwing the rock and that defense just getting after this young quarterback. So I think he looks like a rookie this weekend. I can't wait to watch
it. Do you agree, Greg?
Yeah, I must say I'm gonna agree. I do think this is a proven game for both Steelers and Commanders. Steelers defense, I know that, when Russ got back, everybody's like, oh, okay, here we go with the Steelers. But I think the Commanders are gonna present some problems. So it's not gonna be a cakewalk with Marshawn Lattimore joining the squad. Can Russell Wilson continue to, dime the ball out and keep this offense moving? I think he will in spurts. I think this is a game where he's going to struggle a little bit, and he pulls it out at the end. And like you said, Jaden Daniels will not have a good game, and he will be the reason that the Steelers win and the Commanders lose.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it 3 for 3. I feel the same way. I think this one. My concern with the Commanders is their best win this year is a loss to the Ravens.
To the Ravens, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. They had really, I think they've beaten one team with a winning record. That's the Cardinals, who I think are 5-4 at this point. So I think it is, like Greg said, he hit it right on there. For me, it's a prove-it game for them this week. What can they do against a team we all think is a good team? You know what I'm saying? Can they actually win the game? I don't think they can. I like the way the Steelers are playing with Russell at quarterback. They've gotten back to Najee running the rock. His backup, Warren, I think is back. He running the rock. If they keep that formula, the Steelers are a problem. Now, they added your boy from the Jets at wide receiver, Mike Williams. I think that's more of a red zone help for him, but now they have two big body receivers. You know, Russ likes to throw those 50-50 balls. He's willing to throw it. You know what I'm saying? So I like the Steelers, man. Everybody keeps talking about the Ravens in that division. I think the Steelers are going to win that division. I don't think the Ravens catch them for that division. I don't.
See it. I can see them win because, like I said, I just mentioned that I think the Steelers can beat the Ravens.
Right, and if they do that, yeah, they're going to win that division. You know what I'm saying? So I think Mike Tomlin is on to something this year. You know what I'm saying? If he can get that offensive line to continue improving, they're going to be a problem this year.
Greg, how you said that it was a prove-it game for both teams? How was it a prove-it game for the Steelers, in your opinion?
Who have the Steelers beaten?
Oh.
They lost to the Cowboys, and they really ain't beaten nobody for real.
All right, let's take a look. I had it up right here a second ago. Beat the Chargers, beat the Broncos, Falcons, lost to the Colts, lost to the Cowboys, beat the Raiders, beat the Jets, beat the Giants.
Who have they beaten? Like I said, Chargers probably the best win.
Yeah, I would say the Chargers on that schedule. The Chargers are probably the best win they have so far.
Yeah, but I think their claim to fame is being able to stay over 500 and overcome the bad play of their first quarterback, Justin Fields, for the season at the start of the season. So that's their claim to fame.
Crazy part about their schedule, they hadn't played a division game yet, which is wild that they're this far into the season. That all their division games are backloaded. So pretty much the rest of their year is
after this game, it's crazy. Yeah.
Right. And then throw in the Chiefs. So we're gonna find out about the Steelers. Because they got, like I said, all division games, throw in the Chiefs in this game. So it's a tough road to end the season for them. So
I like Tomlin with a capable quarterback, something he hadn't had since Ben Roethlisberger. So I like it.
I agree. Next big one, Lions-Texans. Can the Texans beat the Lions, man? It's plain and simple on this question. Can your boy show up? Because I'm getting kind of disgusted with the Texans. And it's not Stroud's fault. That offensive line is garbage.
Who's your boy? CJ Stroud?
Stroud, yeah. He getting on my nerves a little bit, bro. I'm like, but it's not him so much. It's that offensive line.
This goes against what I've believed all along. We anoint people with one good season as the next great thing.
Oh, see, to me, that's an oversimplification. His O-line is terrible. Period. Point blank. They're terrible, dog. Their pass.
I get it.
Yeah, their pass protection. That man is under pressure from the time the ball is snapped, dog.
Y'all forgetting he lost both his receivers.
Right. So I'm like, I'm getting frustrated, but I'm more frustrated with the play of the offensive line. And the fact that my boy, I think
you frustrated because you wanted them to win the division.
No, I think their coach is a good coach, and I'm not seeing the judge do something. Go to a more quick game. Stop throwing all the long passes. You know what I'm saying? Your offensive line cannot hold up. They're not good enough to hold up against a good front. So I'm not understanding why they're not making those adjustments to the game plan and steadily trying to go deep when one, your main target is out, but two, your offensive line, like I said, is garbage, bro. I don't get it, bro.
They cannot protect this house
at all, bro.
It's right now they look bad because of what's happened with the offense. losing both receivers, Stroud not having anybody that can get open. That has tremendously hurt their run game. So that's when you have that type of play on the offensive side, then that's going to hurt your defense. So they've been turned into to use your word, a middling team. They don't look like the favorites to come out of the division anymore.
If the division wasn't garbage, they wouldn't. But luckily for them, their division is garbage.
They would need everybody. They would need everybody in order to try to win the division, and they don't. They just don't. They banged up.
Yeah, I think they still win the division because the Colts aren't any good, Jacksonville's no good, and Tennessee's no good. They'll win the division, you know what I'm saying? But I think they had thoughts of doing more than that this year. Is that still a realistic thought, Greg, to do any more than just winning the division?
Yeah, they're not gonna catch the Chiefs. They tied with the Ravens, so they're not going to win the conference. They're definitely going to win the division. The division sucks ass. You got the Colts, you got the Jaguars, and the Titans. That's one of the worst divisions in the conference in NFL. So outside of winning the division, they haven't put it all together all season long.
No, they haven't. They haven't.
First two or three games of the season, they look like, okay, you know what I'm saying? This is what we thought we had. When Nico Collins went down, you know what I'm saying? Stroud has really not been impressive. 11 touchdowns, 2,100 yards passing, with 9 games already under the belt. So no, I don't see. Again, I just knew, and I just felt like Stroud got a bit of a bump that he didn't deserve. He had a great season, but him being projected as a top 5 quarterback, and with those expectations, winning the conference in your second year, you know what I'm saying? That's heavy. Again, that's just the weight of expectations. And I don't think it was fair to him. I don't think it was fair to D'Amico. They got good pieces, but you just don't win overnight. You just don't. In the NFL, sorry, it's a tough league to win in. It's a tough league to win in with stalwarts all across in their own conference. You know what I'm saying? You already had the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Bills already there. The Jets were supposed to be with, the age and Aaron Rodgers, but
yeah. But all that being said, though, if they win this game, it would be a very big win for them. It would be a huge win for them if they can pull this upset this week. I don't see it. Of course, if you see a couple segments away, I don't believe it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it would be a huge win for them if they can pull this one off.
If they were healthy,
yeah, exactly.
I would probably pick them to beat the Lions just because I think D'Amico coaches up when he plays against tough competition. In my opinion, he comes up with a good game plan to get them a dub. But
obviously the Lions feel they're in a good spot. They went out and got Zadarius Smith, so they shored up the pass rush a little bit. The Lions are going to be a problem in the NFC. There's no doubt about that. I think
the Lions play old school football, man.
Yeah, they do.
They throw the ball forward a lot. They throw it forward.
But it's time for the best segment on the show. It's time for that reports. We call it the Bang Bang Reports. Big week. Now we can talk about that game you wanted to talk about, Greg. 49ers, C-Mac on the way back. Juwan Jennings on the way back. Greenlaw will be back in a second. The team is coming back, bro. We held it. We held the water at 500 through the bye week. Jerry, what's your expectations for this team moving forward, bro?
Man, I expect us to assume our rightful place in the football world and remain that ultimate threat to everybody in the league. I feel like we're about to put the league on notice for the rest of the season, getting a lot of our pieces back. Having McCaffrey back is going to be a breath of fresh air. I think that's going to help Purdy get back on track with his game. I have us beating the Bucks soundly this week. I'm thinking by at least 10 points that we get this done. Baker Mayfield will keep the game tough. But again, once he starts feeling himself and the more the coaches allow him to, make the audibles, I see him making those crazy throws. Our quarterback pressure has been better in the last few games. We get back on track and we start looking like the Super Bowl contenders that we know we are for this season.
I agree, bro. If we're going to do it, it has to start this week. We have to beat the Buccaneers. It's just no way around it. If we lose this game, we're not the team. Coming off a bye, getting your main weapon back, if you can't win this game, then we're not that team this year. You know what I'm saying? It's plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get this W, and I think it should be a pretty convincing W. If we're going to, we should get this one this week. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not ready to say we're back to what we were because I still haven't seen Greenlaw's not back yet. I still don't believe even when he comes back, he's going to be right this year. That still gives me some trepidation. The fact that they didn't make any moves in the secondary whatsoever, and the fact it looks like Ward could be out for a while, which you can't blame the man. Prayers up for him with the loss of his child. So it's definitely understandable why he's not there. But that's a big hole to fill. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still not sure what this team is. I have hope because I know Trent Williams said pretty much what you said. Getting C-Mac back, that just gave you a jolt. I think it's kind of what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? It gives you that jolt that, okay, now we're ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I'm hopeful, but I'm not ready to jump 2 feet back in and say, okay, we're that Super Bowl cow.
Shake and bake, baby. Shake and bake.
If he's healthy, that's the whole thing. If McCaffrey is healthy, he's just that dynamic, and I think that's what Trent is alluding to. He's just that dynamic.
But you know what he fixes? The red zone offense.
Oh, for sure, because I think we're still in the bottom, in the bottom of the league at red zone offense, which we've been first for years. So I think his ability on the field helps our quarterback. Helps our tight end. It's gonna help Debo.
And he's a big part of the passing game.
Right. So he cures a lot of ills offensively for us, and I think that helps. That definitely helps our defense when our offense can make drives and stick drives together. So I think we come back into our own. I think he knocks the rust off. With about 18 carries. Maybe not 18
I was just about to say that, but keep Mason and Garrindo in the mix, though.
Right. But maybe not 18 carries, but at least 18 touches, 18 plays going his way. So, yeah, I think we get on track and we start back, to being a formidable team in the league for sure.
Looking forward to it, bro.
Shake and bake, baby. The mid bowl is underway. Buccaneers with the dub. Y'all ain't won 2 games back to back all season.
We'll be 10-4 in no time, my boy. In no time, my boy. Hey, for next game, next segment, it's that cash talk, baby. I'm still hot. You know what it is. Making money all year long in the NFL. It's been one of my best seasons in a very long time, bro. I made money this year, bro. I ain't gonna.
You was 7-8% last week.
Bro. I'm on it, bro. I'm on it this year so far, bro. And I got out a lot of that parlay playing. It's been single games for me a lot of this year, bro. I did a few parlays, but it's been a lot of just single games for real, bro. But my first pick, we already talked about the game, bro. I'm going Lions -3.5. And that go against every fiber of what I wanted to happen this year. But I just can't see it, bro. I can't see it for the Texans, bro. That O-line, bro, they awful, bro. They are awful, bro. I don't think they can score enough points without Nico, without Diggs. Unless Mixon just goes. Now, Mixon has been playing well. Don't get me wrong. Joe Mixon has shown he's a good back.
Out of necessity, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think they can keep up, though. I'm going Lions -3.5. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think the Texans are going to be able to, because the Lions put so many points on the board. I can see the Texans defense being poor this game just because the offense can't
sustain any drive.
Sustain drive. So
that's exactly how I see this game going. For real.
Yeah, I just think they're gonna lean on them with everything they got, and probably put up 30 points on these boys and beat them by 10. Yeah, for sure.
Second game, of course, we talked about this one too. Steelers plus 2.5. Commanders. I'm going Steelers. I'm taking the 2.5, bro.
Yeah, give me them 2.5 points too. I just think the Steelers defense will pretty much shut the Washington Commanders offense down. Jaden Daniels, for as well as he's played over the last few weeks, I think he has like 4 total touchdowns. That's
right.
Rushing and throwing.
Right.
So I think their offense is a little bit of smoke and mirrors at times. They got a big player in Terry McLaughlin, but again, that's still his defense. TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, and the pressure they're able to send off of those zone blitzes is going to be a little bit too much for Jaden Daniels to handle. 2.5. Let me give.
And the last one,
give me them points.
Yeah, give me them points. Last one, I'm giving the points. Like I said, if we for real, if we're what we say we are, the Niners win this game big. I'm giving the 6.5 to the Buccaneers. Niners in a blowout.
I think that's a chest beat move, Dante. I think your heart is in the wrong place, number one. And they're definitely not going to win by 6.5 points. If they win it all.
Oh, you already know, bro. You already know.
Bang, bang.
You already know. Bang, bang all day.
You're gonna mess up your record.
We might need to have a watch party on this game.
Plus 6.5.
Bang,
the mid bowl, a watch party for the mid bowl. Stop it, man.
So Lions minus 3.5. Again, I hate the hook, but I'll give it because I think that game is gonna get out of hand. Steelers, give me the 2.5 against the Commanders. Niners, I give the 6.5 versus the Buccaneers. So let's switch gears one more time. We got to talk NBA. Oh, it's in full swing now. We're starting to figure out what some of these teams are all about. So we got to get into some of the biggest surprises so far. And you got to start with the only undefeated team that's left, bro. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland, this is for you.
The question is pretty simple. Are they for real? And if you say yes, then what does for real mean?
They for real as winning some games early in the season, as far as almost 10 games can go, they for real on that. The feel-good story of the year. That's what the Cavs are. They are the feel-good story so far. OKC was the feel-good story, and then they took a real bad L to Russell Westbrook and Joker. But yeah, they for real right now. Do I think they're a threat to our crown as being the best team in the league right now, championship flavor? No, they're not a threat like that. But they can, they look better than the Knicks, who y'all wanted to crown before the season. They look better than Milwaukee right now. So I don't have any more belief in Miami. I think the Miami run is over.
Milwaukee said it was great to start the year.
Milwaukee's gonna get there. We'll talk about them, but they're the feel-good story. Hey, they're over there being coached by the guy that KD and Kyrie said wasn't good enough to be their coach. So Kenny Atkinson over there running things, got these boys looking good. They got Mobley playing the best ball he's played in his career. Jared Allen is still doing his thing at the 5 spot. Donovan Mitchell is really, really pouring it on and leading, and I've seen him score in ways I hadn't really seen him score over his career. He's attacking that mid-range game. He got a nice little floater he's put into his game that he's using a whole lot of. And yeah, he's banging the threes like everybody else. But the key is I think they finally got Garland to buy in and not be so much of a concentrating so much on his scoring. He's being a point guard, and that's allowed this offense to flourish. And the defense, with Mobley, he's a good defender, and Jared Allen protecting the paint back there because Donovan Mitchell is not a good defender. That's not his forte. They look good. They really do look good. I like what I see so far. Are they championship contenders? Nah. Nope.
Are they a threat, Greg? Are they contenders, G?
I still got to see a little bit more. I hate to do this. Are they contenders? You know what I'm saying? First 2-3 weeks of the season. Everybody's still just getting their sea legs in. We know what it is. We'll know more about Cleveland when after Christmas. I think right now they are definitely the best team in the league. They're playing the best ball. But I just I can't go the contender route. If y'all want to do that, have at it. But I'm gonna say they definitely the best team in the league 2-3 weeks in. What we had 3 weeks in?
Yeah.
About 9 games in. So yeah, I agree, man. It's a little early for me too. I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I still have that small backcourt still kind of like, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? When it really matters, we'll see. But I like the way they are playing, though. They play defense. You know what I'm saying? They're big. I like, as long as Allen stays healthy, I think they have a shot. You know what I'm saying? That, to me, him and Mobley have to be healthy all year for them to even challenge it.
Donovan Mitchell got to show me that he can do it when it matters.
Yeah, and he got to stay healthy for a whole year and be around for the playoffs, healthy for the playoffs, and not in and out of the lineup. So I agree with you.
I think that was just last year. When he's been in the playoffs, he has, outside of a game or two here and there, he's kind of been a disappointment for the hype and the notoriety that he gets.
Right.
Time player. He's still.
But he arrived in the bubble.
He had his bubble moment, but
Golden State impressive to start the season. Like I told Jerry they would be. I told him they would be a top 3-4 team in the West this year. So is it sustainable, G?
No, because they still hadn't solved their biggest issue, which is inside depth. The rook that they got when he goes up against the Embiids of the world when he's healthy, the Jokic's of the world,
so,
the AD.
Quick question. I hate to cut you off, but quick question. In today's NBA for the regular season, is that necessary?
I mean, but what we talking about here? We just talking about regular season performance.
That's where we are. Like y'all just said, it's too early to be talking about championship. That's what y'all just said. I'm just talking about, can they maintain it throughout this regular season?
But when we have the discussion, though, we're looking at it as, you know what I'm saying, judging it against whether or not they can really contend for a championship.
See, to me, I think if they can end in the top 2 or 3, I think they can.
I mean, but if we just gonna say regular season, first 3 weeks of the season,
I'm saying if they can maintain this kind of positioning, if they can play at this level and get a top 2-3 seed, I think they can be a problem.
I think that.
How in the hell are they gonna be a top 2-3 seed in this league at the end of the year?
Okay.
With they lost Klay Thompson. Now I get it. They brought in Buddy Hield, but Buddy Hield is coming off the bench.
I was just about to say shooting better than Klay Thompson.
Yeah, shooting much better. He's younger, and he got his legs, but he don't play any defense. So I think all of that will round itself out. Greg is right. They don't have any size after Looney.
Which team in the West other than Joker?
I can't think of a second-year player. He's pretty good, but when it comes,
which team in the West is that a problem other than Joker?
The Lakers.
Oh, please.
They
beat the Lakers. They don't lose to the Lakers all the time. So I mean,
they have the AD Lakers. They have, especially in the playoffs and the play-in.
I refuse to mention that team. Y'all can have that. I ain't saying. I definitely ain't giving them that. I get your point. You're saying
refuse to miss them all you want to, but The
You're
AD
saying that
kills them.
You're saying that there aren't any bigs in the
Right.
West. I get it.
Sabonis.
Man, come on. Man, come on, dog.
You gonna poo-poo Sabonis?
No, what I'm poo-pooing is the fact that you can't overcome Sabonis in a game. Stop it, dog. Stop it.
Sabonis did him in last.
They
What
can't.
was that?
They
He
can't
got him out to play in last year.
They can't
Or
overcome
whatever that was.
themselves. They can't overcome themselves. This roster is not going to be in the top 3 of the league. It ain't going to be in the top 5.
Okay.
It ain't even going to be in the top 7.
I guarantee you are incorrect.
They'll be in the top 5. They'll be in the top 5.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Not with this roster, bro.
They've had a hot start, and all they have to do is they're not gonna go on no 8 or 9 game slump.
Y'all not being realistic. Steph is old as shit at what he does. Steph is old. He's already sat out some games. You got to throw the injuries in there. Draymond most definitely gonna miss some games. He's gonna definitely be suspended some games.
I didn't say they would be the top team. I said they can be in the top 5. They can be in the top 6.
They've been in the play-in for the last. They've been in the play-in.
So tell me the team that you just, other than OKC, which I think we're all pretty high on. Who else do you fear in the West?
Number one, I'm a Boston fan, so I don't fear none of these motherfuckers in the West. That's number one.
We just talking about the West.
But when we talking about good teams, y'all forgetting about Memphis is whole. So Memphis gonna be in that top. It's gonna be in the top tier teams. You got Minnesota's gonna be a top tier team.
They 500 right now.
Dallas, it's 10 games in. That's what y'all keep talking. Y'all talking about the Bucks who 2-6 now, like they can't make the fucking playoffs. It's 2-6. It's just the beginning of the season.
Who said that?
Houston.
Who said that?
Your boy. Houston. Houston is a team. OKC. I don't really have a good faith in Phoenix, but I see Phoenix definitely being in the top 6-7 teams.
One of your main points was injury, but you don't have that problem with Phoenix.
But all right. Phoenix
okay.
is definitely. You know me, I'm always talking about Phoenix and the fact that they've broken up. But the reason they're still going to be a playoff team is because the rest of the teams are so ass. But
that's my point.
You can count on Memphis. Okay, well let me put the teams that I think are going to be ahead of Golden State by the end of the year. Memphis will be up there. OKC will be up there. Yes. Dallas will be up there. Minnesota will be up there.
We'll see.
Denver will be up there.
We'll see.
Phoenix will be up there. That's 7 right there. That's 7 teams already, and I haven't even mentioned
you acting like all those teams. You know everything that's going to happen. You don't know what Minnesota is this year.
Minnesota's a good team.
So are the Warriors.
They're not a good team. They have basically the same roster they had last year.
They whooped y'all ass.
Right. Whooped your ass. Your ass. Right.
In Boston.
In Boston.
Minus our leader, Jaylen Brown, and our starting
see how he came all the way around on Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
I
remember a few years ago.
I
tried to get the dude traded.
That was years ago.
You remember that? That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was years ago.
I'm thinking early last year you might have said it.
I might have.
You was not Jaylen.
I ain't gonna lie. I might have. But that's neither here nor there. He's a champion. He's a champion. We still
both here
in the
and
campaign.
there. It is both here and there.
All right, so I just gave you those 7 teams, and I'm gonna throw in Houston. Houston's gonna have a better record than Golden State too.
Okay, boy, we should put some on there for sure. But let's go and move on to the slow starts in Philly and Milwaukee. Let's start in Milwaukee with Giannis and Dame looking ass as hell so far. They did beat Utah last night, but who the hell doesn't beat Utah? Greg, are they in trouble, bro?
I'm not gonna ring the alarm bell.
Thank you.
But the alert,
and you say play.
The alert is definitely on. Number one, my first concern, Doc, are you okay?
Thank you.
Doc Rivers, are you okay, sir? This team is they're too top heavy to be 2-6. If and we've seen this happen with LeBron and AD, they got similar talented rosters, right? They top two players, and then it's the rest of the squad. They got Bobby Portis, who's a good fourth player or a player that should be coming off the bench, and Chris Middleton is hurt. That's one of their big issues, is that their third scorer, and I don't know if he'll ever get back to what he was when they won the championship and when he was the closer. Like I've told y'all assholes, he was the freaking closer, and y'all took that as me taking shots at Giannis. But Chris Middleton was the closer. If he was still that same Chris Middleton, they would be all right. They don't have a third.
Do you know what his injuries are that he's coming back from, bro?
It's a knee injury. He's
nope,
not. I don't.
It's not.
What is
ankle surgery? He had surgery on both ankles.
Last year he had the knee injuries.
He had ankle surgery in the offseason on both ankles.
He ain't coming back.
You believe a player that's a year older coming off ankle surgeries is going to be all that when he get back? Okay.
I believe he's going to be
not going to come back to that form of who he was when they won that championship. He's not going to be that, and I hope he do, because I like the Bucks. They're going to have to make some trades. They're going to have they don't have to do something.
They can't. Their money is fucked up beyond belief. They don't own their picks for the next, I don't know how many years.
They're going to have to do something.
They don't have any way possible to make this roster better. The only way they can make their roster better is to trade Giannis. They have nothing they can do. Unless somebody good is out there that's a free agent that's gonna sign for the minimum.
That's what they hold. That's what they banking on. And this is what really gets me with the Bucks. They got the two players who talk the most shit about not recruiting players and not needing help, and you know what I'm saying, go with what you got. And now y'all are here. Y'all are in this position. Dame, Greek, who was at one point considered one of the best players in the league. That mantle has been stripped away from him. He's still in the top 3, top 5. But all that, you know what I'm saying, all that chest beating and bravado about, you know what I'm saying, owning what you have and being able to play with what you got, and now they need pieces.
Please, Dante, you go. I'll wrap this shit up on a realistic level.
Get it done.
Go.
Hey, man, I already told you what I think about Milwaukee. Borderline play-in team this year. They don't play defense at the level that they did when they had Drew Holiday. They're not the same team. Everybody keeps thinking about that team when they won the championship. This is not that team. Yeah, some of these same players are there, but it's not the same team. Middleton's older. Lopez is older. They are not the same. Giannis' game is the same.
The same.
Exact same game that he had then.
And I like Giannis.
And I like him too, but he's done them a disservice by not improving his game. And Dame took away from the defense. Now you are a lower level defense.
And Dame ain't the same player that he was in Portland.
Exactly. That was a great trade by Portland. You got rid of him at the right time where you could still get something for him, because he's not the same dude. He's sporadic with it now. Yeah, every 4 games or so, he'll go off for you. But he plays no defense in any of those 4 games. That's a problem. This team, while you're talking about Golden State, this is the team you need to be worried about. Everybody think it's going to be good. They're a play-in team, bro. At best, they're a play-in team.
Okay. So, both of you are wrong. For sure. Both of you are wrong. The Greek Freak is leading this team with 31 points per game.
So
Dame Lillard is coming right in at 28 points a game.
So
he's leading the team in assists, averaging the most assists he's averaged in his career, I believe, at 7.
Where are they
and he's also bringing in 5 boards. The problem with this team right now is what we've spoke of, is that they are missing their 3rd best player in Chris Middleton. When Chris Middleton comes back, Chris Middleton will give them the necessary amount of offensive help as well as the necessary amount of defensive help, because as you state,
they are 26th in defense. 26.
Right. And all they need to do is get inside 20 and they'll be fine. They get inside 20, between 15 and 20 with their defense. And I'm saying that because I know how bad Dame do that.
They just
I know how bad Dame is. It's the beginning of the season. They've only played 8 games. They are 2-6. They've only played 8 games. So all they got to do,
have the capability to do that. That's the issue.
They just have to get better as a team on both ends of the court, and they're expecting an all-star level talent to come back to this team. So it's gonna work out. Hold your horses and pump on your brakes. It's gonna work out. They will be a top 5 team in the East. There's no doubt about that in my mind, especially when you look at the teams that are in the East outside of my boys, Cleveland. Right now,
they're 16th in offensive efficiency and 26th in defense. And you think that's a recipe for success? Okay.
That thing goes hand in hand. It's early. They got time to build. Doc is ticking around with the roster. He started the Jackson boy, who's really just a dunker spot wing. At this point, he can knock down some threes, but he's a better defender than Dame is. They started him and they benched Gary Trent Jr., who I thought would be a perfect fit in that offense, but he's starting to look more like Malik Beasley, who they had in that offense last year, and that's not going to get it. So unless he can start putting up 14, 16 points a game, I don't see how he helps his team. But my point is, it's early. Doc is a good coach. He'll get them. You guys have got to leave your biases and your wishes for this team to be bad because of Dame, and you don't like Dame's status as a superstar in this league.
Right. I like the Bucks, but I'm honest about the Bucks.
I want them to be good so they can whoop y'all ass.
Man, please. I told you that's the only team I fear in the East. So with that said, y'all name me the teams that is going to be better than them. Because I don't see it. It ain't going to be Atlanta. It ain't going to be Brooklyn. That's team 4 and 5 right now.
The Knicks will be better than
Pacers, Knicks, Heat.
You think the Knicks going to be better? Or will the Knicks be better?
When Embiid gets back, they'll be better than them.
I know the Knicks will be better.
When Embiid gets back, they will be better than them.
So y'all both think the Knicks? Y'all think the Knicks and Philly going to be better than the Bucks this year?
Absolutely.
It's all about Embiid's health with Philly.
All right. Okay.
But since we transitioning there, let's talk about the 1-6 76ers. So, and the question that we had was what's going wrong, but that's a simple answer. So, will they turn it around? Let's ask that question, Greg, because what's going on, we already know. The injuries are what's going on. So we already know Maxi's out for several weeks now. So they're more injuries. They kind of like the 49ers. They kind of like the 49ers of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? No, because they got multiple injuries, Jerry, not just one injury. They got multiple injuries. You know what I'm saying? PG just hitting the court. Maxi's out now for several weeks. Embiid is out. Well, I think they suspended him, so he was going to play. So he's out. He's not going to play back-to-back. So it's going to be all about health with them for me, G.
That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. There's nothing more to say. They're not a poorly constructed roster. They got what they need. They just need health.
Jerry,
miss me.
What do you have?
Miss me with the fucking 76ers. Miss me with them all the way. I tell y'all this every year. Y'all get y'all hopes up because you like the way that Embiid plays and you think he's all this skilled and can't be stopped. And then he get in the playoffs and he shits the bed every time. He sat out games. He's claiming that he's injured. I guess he is. But he had already leaked the fact that he's not going to be playing in back-to-back. So they plan on load managing his ass all year. So that's 15 games, gentlemen, that he's automatically got to add to the games he's already missed, and he's already missed 7 games. So he's guaranteed to miss 22 games out of 82. We ain't even got to him having an injury that's going to hold him out longer than this, because he usually has an injury that has him out longer than this. Y'all ain't even factoring that. Miss me with this team, man.
I think
Paul
what they're banking on this year, and they pretty much said
is health.
It's him being healthy for the playoffs. They kind of just want to get through the regular season and have him healthy in the playoffs. Now, will it work? Is that a good strategy? I don't know. I'm skeptical, but that's the only chance I think they have. I think at this point they're realizing that Joel Embiid is never going to play 70 games a year for them, ever. It's over for that. You know what I'm saying? That thought process. So now they have to turn to, how do we get him ready for the end of the year? And what can we do? He kind of turned it into Kawhi, basically.
Ain't no kind of
a big man version of Kawhi, basically.
Yeah.
He definitely not Kawhi. He's played way more games than Kawhi.
No, I'm saying going forward, G. I think this is what he's about to turn into going forward. I think that's what we're looking at going forward, is what I'm saying.
Embiid is not a leader. Jimmy Butler showed us that when he was there for a brief moment in time. Maxey is just flying around in the seat of his pants. He's a good to decent player. I can't take that away from him.
Better than Chris Middleton at this point, I tell you that.
Oh my God! But adding Paul George just didn't do it to me. It didn't do it for me. It didn't move the needle. You know, yeah, he's one
How
of
do
the
you know
best.
if it moved the needle if they haven't played together?
I'm just going off what we know. I'm just going off by our history and what we know about Paul George. We know what we know about way off P is that as the level of the game, ever since he's left Indiana, as the level of competition and the levels of the rounds go up, he starts shrinking. That's just who he is. So now you bring him into this pressure cooker of, I don't have my best player, not a second best, or the possible second or third best player is out. Woe is me. What am I going to do? And that's where we are. The Sixers are not good enough, man. Whole, unhealthy. 22 games is what this man has already missed, man. He's already missed 22. He might not play 60 games this year.
Well, like you said, it's early in the season. Time will tell which of us is right and which of us is wrong. But we got to go on to taking out the trash, that signature segment. We got to get to it, fellas. You know what week it was, election week. Looks like the Republicans have pretty much going to sweep everything. The House still got some toss-ups, so we'll see what that looks like after today. Looks like some of those might not get called into over the weekend or on Monday, but looks like they could sweep all 3, Senate, House. Of course, Donald J. Trump will be the next president. Greg, I'll give you the floor, brother. A lot of reasons to discuss why, but I'll give you the floor, bro.
It's a sad time in American history. I'm very disappointed in the outcome of this election. I seen it when the results first started rolling in, and he already had like 100-some point lead early in the first polls closing, at 6 Eastern time or 7 Eastern time, and it just did not feel like it was going to turn around, because you heard the polls and you saw comments on social media, and I saw interviews with Latino voters. I saw some of my own people propping this dude up. And my wife, she was like, I'm just so shocked. I said, I'm not shocked, because I knew this was a possibility. I knew it was a possibility when after January 2020, what was January 6, 2021, and the Republicans didn't do a wholesale denunciation of this, of this dude. When that didn't happen, and we saw what we saw, the threat, the real threat, and what we found out later was a blatant coup, an attempt to overthrow an election. And that was not a non starter for everyone who voted for him, for every Republican who claimed to be principled, who claimed to be a true conservative, who claimed to be a true patriot of this country, and you allow this dude to get away with what he was able to get away with and run for president. He's not fit to run a Waffle House.
Mm.
On top of that, we saw the Democrats pussyfoot the investigations and drag it out when after 2021 those court cases should have been brought forth early in 2022. To not even it shouldn't these cases should be have been adjudicated or in the process of being adjudicated prior to the primaries for this election cycle. If the Republicans weren't going to do the right thing and oust this faggot on his fucking ass. I knew it. I had deep hope that the Democrats would do the right thing and try to get a person platformed to where the American people can get behind them. They stayed with Joe Biden to the last minute, and it made Kamala Harris battle uphill. I still had hope, but I'm so disappointed in the Latino voters who voted for him. Even though it was the majority voted for Kamala Harris, it should have been akin to the black vote, 86% to 12%. And the black vote should have been 92% to 8%. And so my trash, taking out the trash on those two, the black people who voted for Trump and the Latino voters who voted for Trump. And just like, and I'm going to leave it with this and let y'all have it. If y'all remember the Joker, the movie The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, your boy Arthur Fleck, before he bust Robert De Niro in the head, he made a question and he answered it with, you get what you fucking deserve. And y'all are going to get, and unfortunately, we are going to get what we fucking deserve.
All right. I feel you, bro. JW, what you got, Ren?
Oh man, some of those, a lot of that stuff, you feel the same way about it. It was this was eye opening to me, but it shouldn't have been. It really shouldn't have been. G mentioned all of the things that really, for us or just regular common sense folks, there's a lot of things this man has done that just makes it a deal breaker, or it should have been a deal breaker. If it was one of us running again, hell, Kamala was running. Kamala was running, and it was, it wasn't a deal breaker for him to be the way he is, but they just came up with all kind of stuff to make it a deal breaker for her to run. My thoughts on it was, and I posted this on my Facebook page, was it's time to stop believing in a country that doesn't exist. America is not the country that it's propped up to be, is not the country that a lot of people that live here believe it to be. And quite frankly, it's never been that, right? This country has protected white men like Donald Trump since forever. Since forever. They've been able to get away with murder and continue on with their everyday lives, and at the hands, and we suffer at the hands of the most heinous things. And I consider Donald Trump being reelected as president as one of the most heinous things that I have ever seen. A known racist, a known bigot, a known misogynistic evil, if you will. And none of this made his supporters shy away from voting for him. We, as a people of the Democratic Party, you need a new strategy, a whole nother strategy. We got to stop coming at this thing believing in what we've considered to be our freedoms up until this part. We gotta stop. We have to stop thinking in our comfort level. I think that we have gotten too comfortable with our piece of what this American dream was supposed to be. And that has led us to bamboozle ourselves. Nobody's fooled us. We fooled ourselves thinking that we can continue to play on the heartstrings of this country with, he's a racist, he's bad. Look at the people that are voting for him. They're bad. We need another strategy. We need stronger leaders in our politics. We don't have any Dr. Martin Luther Kings. We don't have any Reverend Jesse Jacksons anymore. We don't have that. We need a stronger, I'm going to go all the way. We need a stronger little league in our politics. We need a stronger grassroots level in our politics. I don't know how that plan gets put into place, but we got to get everybody to take this part of the game a hell of a lot more serious, or at least equal to how serious they take.
Yeah, but I think you said something just then. The word you just used, the we. The we is becoming not so much of a we as much anymore, which is going to be an issue for Democrats going forward if they don't change something. You know what I'm saying? They're losing some of the Latino vote. They're losing some of the black male vote. So it's like, you need to wake up and see that the messaging has to change at this point. Because I agree with everything y'all said, but I'm trying to take it from more political standpoint. Like, what do they do next? What's next? What's the message going forward? Because the way it's looking, the country with all the what my father calls those hidden silent Trumpers, they showed up. You know what I'm saying? And so now we know where this country really is. You know what I'm saying? With all that red on that map, you can't look at that and say, okay, like you said, Jared, that this country is what we thought it was. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
So, for those of us on the other side of that, like, where do we go from here? If some of that message resonated enough with black men where some of us would vote for Trump, that's a problem, bro, for Democrats. They have to see. And if that resonated with some of the Latino vote, that's a problem, bro. That means some of the stuff in your messaging is not resonating with your voters anymore. So what do we need to do to change it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm kind of with you. Like, which issues is it? Is it the trans stuff? You know what I'm saying? And the LGBT stuff? Was it the economy? I know basically Kamala, she focused on, like you said, the racial stuff with Trump, January 6th, the democracy angle of it, which was important, but obviously it wasn't as important as the economy and immigration, because that's pretty much all Trump talked about. And did he do it in a coherent manner? No. But obviously, with a section of voters, that's what they cared about. You know what I'm saying? And like Greg said, she was tied too much to Biden.
Economy is always going to be a tough road to hoe when you got Trump there, because you got so many people that believe he's this great money person.
Right, which
he's a billionaire. So he
That's a
gotta
lie.
know. So, you know what I'm saying? That's always gonna go in his favor. In my opinion, that's always gonna go in his favor.
Yeah, the fatal flaw, like Greg said this time, was they hung on to Biden too long.
Yeah, she needed more.
She needed more time.
She needed more of a runway.
Right.
You know, Biden probably should have done this a year out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He probably should have done this. He should have done this 2 years out.
Yeah,
I mean, 2 years ago.
As soon as he got in the office, they should have been looking for
the next right.
Who are the people that we need to promote?
Yeah.
Or had a primary.
Yeah.
Let the people decide who they wanted to run.
But see, this is what they didn't. This is what they did not anticipate, and I didn't either. Because after January 6th, I was like, "Oh, that Trump shit done." And slowly but surely, you started to see that it wasn't.
Nope, it wasn't. And I told you in the beginning, G, wasn't nothing gonna happen to him. Nothing was gonna happen to him. And now it's pretty much case closed at this point. Nothing's going to happen to him.
Yeah, because they already said he receive immunity if he became president.
So I just think the Democrats, they have to repackage they're going to have to get together and make some tough decisions on messaging. Like you can't force some of the LGBTQ stuff down people's throat. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It turns some people off. You're not going to be able to do that.
But here's the thing, man. It's not that they're forcing it down the throat. It is the messaging of the Republican Party. And so it puts them on the defense to have to placate and not be like, oh, we don't give a damn about LGBTQ rights.
Well,
but I'm just saying stuff like
straw man shit, man.
They made it a part of the strategy. They made it a part of the strategy with abortion.
Right. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what
that's
they
heartstring.
Do.
That's what I mean by heartstring. We gotta.
They're good at creating red herrings. They do it all the time. There's a boogeyman in every election cycle.
Right.
And they've been doing that for years. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 2000s, and when Obama was running for office, they finna take your guns. Then it moved into, you know what I'm saying, the Mexicans. They took our jobs. Right. That's always been the case. And more recently, it's been drag queens and the woke mob and the transgender. They gonna change your kids' penises into vaginas. These are not real issues, but they use them well to divide the electorate, especially the ones that are not well educated, the ones that really don't pay attention, but look at and take that red meat and they run with it. Because at the end of the day, the things that they really promote in the halls of Congress, taking away Medicare, taking away Obamacare, abortion rights, those are the things that people in the end really care about, but don't really understand the true strategy and the true motivation of the Republican Party.
See, I agree with you on some of that, but I think people do understand abortion rights and they still voted the way they voted. I think people do understand that. I don't think people are that ignorant when they don't understand that issue. I think they do understand that.
It's a good majority of Republicans that, don't care for abortion. You know what I'm saying? So that's why she was able to get so many people of the women, so I guess a good percentage of the women vote. However, at the same time, the way that the politics is so divided, you're taking sides. You're like, okay, that's not going to be a big issue for me because I'm already in my silo. So I'm going to shift my positions and what I really value so that I can own the libs or own the Democrats. Everybody moves into their own particular silo. And I'm probably guilty of that too in some ways, but I wouldn't, to me, and what was my biggest issue was Trump. He does not deserve to be on the ballot. He does not deserve to have been president again. That it just blows my mind that this dude was able to run for president and win it. It really don't blow my mind he won it because I saw what the American public is. That whole thing, like you said, Jerry, about, you know what I'm saying, the American dream and the promise of America, that shit went way out the window. And I understood it when Trump got elected president the first time. Because never in the history had you ever had a politician say the things that he said, did the things that he did, went against the grain of some of the most conservative Republican principles, honoring the military, going against John McCain the way that he did, and still have the support of the Republican Party. And not only that, the support of the American people, the voting public. And he didn't win the popular vote in the first time against Hillary Clinton, but he had enough support to win the electoral college, which is another issue that needs to go away. The electoral college, that's a sham. But it is, again, to me, my biggest issue. It didn't matter, who the politician was. It is Trump. He definitely doesn't deserve to have been elected president. He didn't deserve to even run for president. His ass should be locked up. And I wish the assassin would have hit his mark.
See, I'm like you. I don't think for me, the sad part is it brings you to a realization of what white America is really thinking when you look at the numbers, you know what I'm saying? And I guess living down in the South, we kind of know it, you know what I'm saying? But it's sobering, you know what I'm saying, to see that so many with this man's agenda and what it's all about, that so many good white people were still willing to vote for him. That's sobering. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things where when you think about it now, you look at your neighbors a little differently. You know what I'm saying? You're like, it's like, okay, what do you really think about me and my rights as a citizen and me as a black man, period? You know what I'm saying? And this vote, the way it went, kind of shows you where white America is, a lot of white America on these issues. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about our history. They don't care about, you know what I'm saying?
We already knew that, Dante. We knew that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, bro, the way they swept it like that, dog, and it wasn't close, bro. It wasn't even close, bro. These last few times, it's been close. This time, it wasn't close, bro. And Project 2025, with that being out there, the Republican Party going even further into it's, I don't know, it's kind of scary, bro. It's one of those things where it's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, we will get what we fucking deserve. And when they start shipping out these Mexicans who've been here,
that's what I said.
Reversing their immunity, or they
like I told you, don't come to the black community for no support.
We have.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to buy you. I'm gonna try to buy your house on taxes. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
We have too many of us that are detached from our historical reality.
Right.
We have too many of us that have reached a certain tax bracket.
Yep.
That are willing to align themselves with Donald Trump because of the tax bracket.
Right.
We have
I ain't watching no more BMF.
We have young adults, we have young black adults that are so involved into their social media outlets on a daily basis that their algorithms, the things that runs all of our social media, feeds them the bullshit.
Yep. And they believe it.
Or even if they don't believe it, they're willing to talk about it and discuss it amongst the other people with like minds that are controlled by what they view here. Those same people have children that are coming up that are so far away from when we came up and we heard the stories from our parents of the Bull Connors.
Right.
when the police was really out here whooping ass and killing motherfuckers on a weekly basis, right? They're detached from all of that. But guess what? You're about to see.
Right.
All of that stuff is about to, and I hate to say it, but I don't see it going no other way. We just had the young, and I hate that I can't recall her name, but the young lady we witnessed murdered, shot in the face in her own house by the policeman. Right? We saw that.
Sonya Massey. Sonya Massey.
No. Sonya Massey was the woman that was arrested on the side of the road and ended up in jail.
No, that's Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland. You okay? So you're right. Yeah, you're right. So we're gonna see more Masseys, and we're gonna see that cop get off faster. He may not even go to jail because Trump is going to. His plan is to strip this shit down so far to where he can make a call on it and it's done. So we're gonna see that time and time again. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see more of that. We're not gonna see less of that. We're not gonna see less of two policemen going into a house and there's a black mother in there, whether she has issues or not. That's not gonna matter. We're gonna have more of those. We're gonna have more incidents of somebody being accused of walking out of the store and stealing something, and instead of, a police chase and arresting them and pulling them over, they shot right there before they even leave the parking lot. We're gonna have more of this.
I'm gonna go further. So when we have more of those, Jerry, what's gonna happen? What are we gonna do?
We're gonna do what
we're gonna do what we'd always do: protest,
right?
Sing and chant, and
go
guess
to
what's
church.
Gonna happen after that?
Hold hands, and after that, it's gonna happen again.
This is what's going to happen.
Oh, he gonna send the ass this time, G.
Yeah.
He gonna send the National Guard this time.
Exactly. And he almost did it that time in DC. They did do it. They didn't do the National Guard, but they sent the police force out there and they pepper sprayed those folks. It was just a protest. And that's when he went out there and he held the Bible.
Up at the church.
In front of the church.
Right.
Hey, and this is something I'm gonna say too before we go. I do, if this Project 2025 gets implemented in some way, shape, fashion, or form, there will be blood.
Bro,
how could it not be,
bro? It's getting deep, bro. And just
how could it not be? He definitely gonna do that. The Board of Education thing. That's the Department of Education. Excuse me. That's definitely gonna go down. Watch.
Yeah, and people, they don't understand what that's gonna do to their children, to their children's schools. I mean, it's crazy the ignorance that's out there.
They don't understand how insurance is going to be changed if he's able to gut Obamacare, pre-existing conditions. We're gonna go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Putting insurance people in pools so the younger folks, their insurance ain't gonna be high. But us 40 and 50-year-olds, back when that shit was popping, we was younger, so we really didn't give a shit.
Right.
But you look at that shit now and how high your deductible is now.
Right. Exactly.
And then on the backside of that, the people that don't have jobs, that's why it's targeted. That's why the shit's been targeted, because you targeted the people that don't have jobs, that can't afford insurance anyway. Guess what they gonna do? They just gonna die.
And they got the Senate, they got the House, they got the Supreme Court, they got the executive branch. Entitlements, they finna start getting dismantled, bro.
Right.
They finna start getting dismantled. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, this country is, like you said, G, I think your statement is exactly the one we need to end on. We're about to get exactly what we deserve.
Fucking deserve.
So we gonna leave it there, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Trash Talking with the Old Heads. We say what the hell we want to say. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Hey, we're gonna keep bringing this content because the next 4 years are going to be very, very interesting. Till Tuesday, man. We'll see y'all then. We out, man.
Man, depressing.